काफी बड़ा परिवार है मेरा, यही संसार है मेरा। हर दिन मेरी कोशिश है इसे हरा भरा रखने की, कुछ कोशिश घर को मजबूत बनाने की, कुछ कोशिश घर को जीता जागता बनाने की, कुछ कोशिश बड़ों की सेवा की, कुछ कोशिश छोटों को बड़ा बनाने की, कुछ कोशिश नई दिशाएं दिखाने की, कुछ कोशिश उत्साह जगाने की। देश नाम है मेरे संसार का, इंडिया नाम है मेरे परिवार का, टाटा कोशिश जिम्मेदारी निभाने की।
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tata Crucible, the Campus Edition 2022. It's time for us to get started. Please welcome your host, Ms. Rashmi Furtado.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to each and every one of you to Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2022. This is Rashmi Furtado and we are getting into the first wild card of the 19th cluster of this quiz. All in all, we have had 24 clusters, each of the cluster consisting of 2 wild cards and 1 cluster final. The popularity of this quiz has gone way beyond what we could have ever imagined. The viewership on the digital platforms has crossed over 7 million. So that is how much this quiz has been popular over the past couple of years. But now it's time for us to move into our journey or continue our journey to this new edition of Tata Crucible. I have the contestants who have qualified into the first wildcard of this cluster. The 19th cluster, of course, is the one from Bihar. Let me introduce all of them to you and then we'll get cracking with the rules of the game. Time for me to introduce our today's contestants to you, ladies and gentlemen. Our first contestant of the day is Anupam from CNLU Patna. There he is. Following him is Priyansh. Alright, up next is Mehtab. All of them from CNLU Patna. Astha from BIT Mesra, who unfortunately couldn't join us here today. Following her is Sarthak from CNLU Patna. And completing this lineup is Gautam from CNLU again. So somehow this has turned out to be a CNLU wildcard, but believe me, all of these students had to go through multiple grueling rounds to reach this wildcard here today. It's not necessarily, or it's not a CNLU alone wildcard. It's turned out to be that way, but all of them have definitely proved their worth with the multiple rounds that they've gone through. Rules of the game, ladies and gentlemen. 10 questions is what I have for them. All of them on the buzzer. Single attempt per question only. +1 if they get it right, -1 if they get it wrong. Top 3 scorers from among the 5 of them will qualify into that cluster final. I repeatedly tell this to all the quizzers, wildcard is all about qualifying. Do not get carried away by wanting to win the wildcard. The fair play protocols are right there on the screen for you. Our contestants have been briefed on that already. Moving on, my dear audience, the buzzer indicator light will not be appearing for you. However, I'm here to let you know who has pressed the buzzer. Time for us to get into the wildcard, ladies and gentlemen, and ascertain who are the top 3 who will move in to the cluster final. Ladies and gentlemen, the first question of this wildcard, here we go. What is a person who believes the market will rise and therefore buys shares, commodities or currency to sell at a higher price later called? Your options, day trader or bull. Priyansh, go ahead.
The person is called a bull.
Absolutely right. Getting a +1 on that is Priyansh. Bull is the answer I was looking for. Day trader is usually the ones who have a larger volume of short and long trades to capitalize in intraday market price action. So they do it within a day, shorter timelines. Question number 2. In digital marketing, what is the number of clicks an ad receives divided by the number of times the ad is shown, known as? Your options: conversion rate or click-through rate. Sarthak, go ahead. Quickly, Sarthak, unmute yourself.
Is it click-through rate?
+1 on that. All absolutely right. Getting a +1 on that is Sarthak. Click-through rate, the answer I was looking for. He's absolutely right, and he gets a +1 on that. Moving on to question number 3. Who is the first woman to head or become the interim CMD of ONGC, India's largest oil exploration and production company? Your options: Alka Mittal or Meena Ganesh. Gautam, go ahead. Quickly, Gautam.
Is it Alka Mittal?
+1 on that. Absolutely right. Alka Mittal, the answer I was looking for. All right, Gautam getting a +1 on that. Moving on to question number 4. What is the full form of LG in the company name LG Electronics? Mehtab, go ahead.
Life's good.
Getting a negative on that is Mehtab. This is a common misconception that all of us have, ladies and gentlemen. Life's good is their tagline. The LG in their name of the company stands for Lucky Gold Star. Lucky Gold Star would have given him that +1. All right, clearing the buzzers there. Moving on to question number 5. Dr. Devi Shetty is the chairman and founder of which hospital chain? Your options: Narayan Hrudayalaya or Apollo Hospitals. Mehtab, go ahead.
Apollo Hospitals.
Oh, taking a negative again is Mehtab. The answer I was looking for is Narayana Hrudayalaya, a well-known hospital chain all over the country and abroad. Dr. Devi Shetty, the founder and chairman of this hospital chain. Moving on to question number 6. Which of these companies is not entered or planning to enter into the electric two-wheelers market at the moment and following a wait and watch strategy? Your options: Ola or Royal Enfield. Anupam, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
This is Royal Enfield.
+1. +1 to you. Absolutely right. Royal Enfield, the answer I was looking for. Ola, in fact, if I'm not wrong, in the last year maybe, don't hold me on the timeline, has already got into the electric two-wheelers category. Moving on into question number 7. Here we go. Which is the country of origin for the luxury car Audi? Gautam, go ahead.
Is it Germany?
+1. Absolutely right. Germany giving Gautam the +1. CNLU is actually a good quizzing institute. We've had a lot of good quizzers from that institute, and somehow today most of them seem to be doing very well, carrying forward the tradition. Moving on to question number 8. This person from India who was the chief economist of the International Monetary Fund has taken over a new role as Deputy Manager Director in IMF. Who am I talking about? Your options: Geeta Gopinathan or Dr. Raghuram Rajan. Sarthak, go ahead.
Is it Geeta Gopinathan?
+1 to you. Absolutely right. Geeta Gopinathan, the answer I was looking for. Last 2 questions of the wildcard are remaining, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you where the contestants stand. As of now, with 2 points each, Sarthak and Gautam are leading this wildcard. However, Anupam and Priyansh are right behind with 1 point each. Mehtab has a little bit of work to do. He's taken 2 negatives. He'll have to work harder to get into the positives. But as of now, we need to remember that 3 slots is all I have in the cluster final. Good luck to all of you. The penultimate question, here we go. Vinay Dubey is the founder and currently the MD and CEO of which airline? Your options: Go Air or Akasa Air. Mehtab, go ahead.
Akasa Air.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. Akasa Air, the answer I was looking for. It's a newer airline. In fact, if I'm not wrong, they may have just launched their first flight or not yet launched. Don't hold me on the timelines there. Moving on to the last question of this wild card. Which of these is an initiative started by the government of India to not only encourage foreign companies to find workforce in the country and thereby generate employment, but also encourage domestic and local production to create micro jobs? Your options: Production Linked Incentive Scheme or Employment Linked Incentive Scheme. Mehtab, go ahead.
Production Linked Incentive Scheme, PLI.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. He gets a +1 on that. Only if Mehtab had got both those +1s a little earlier, he would have been doing very well, because currently he's back to nil and we have reached the end of this wild card. Scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen. Sarthak and Gautam, both from CNLU with 2 points, have made it through to the cluster final. It's clear there. But for the third slot, I have a tie between Anupam and Priyansh. Time for me to break the tie. Let me quickly find my tiebreaker questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, time for us to figure out who will join Sarthak and Gautam. Anupam and Priyansh both on the tiebreaker. The first tiebreaker question, here we go. Woot is owned by whom? Viacom or Netflix? All right, Priyansh on the buzzer, go ahead. Quick there.
It's Viacom 18 Networks. Voot is owned by Viacom 18 Networks.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. Getting a +1 on that is Priyansh, and he joins Sarthak and Gautam into that cluster final. All of them representing the Chanakya National Law University. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have identified our top 3 scorers who have moved into the cluster final. But before we go any further, it's time for us to binge on an audience question. Your question, ladies and gentlemen: in which movie franchise does Platform 9 3/4 feature? Let me repeat that one for you. In which movie franchise does Platform 9 3/4 feature? This is an interesting one. If you're a bookworm or even if you're a movie buff, you will definitely know this answer. Go ahead and key in your answer in the chat box, whichever platform you're watching this quiz on. If you're quick and correct, you will definitely win exciting prizes. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. The second wild card is coming up, and we have to identify the other 3 who will join these contestants in the cluster final. I will see you in the next wild card.
अब डिस्काउंट किसे अच्छा नहीं लगता है जी? खाने के बाद एक एक्स्ट्रा पूरी। आहा, अरे दवाइयाँ बेटा जी, अब भी करता हूँ बाबूजी। इतनी बचत बेटा जी, और भरोसेमंद भी बाबूजी। It's 1 mg। हो गया जी।
हो गया जी?
नहीं जी, आप खिलाओ जी।
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tata Crucible, the Campus Edition 2022. It's time for us to get started. Please welcome your host, Ms. Rashmi Furtado.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to each and every one of you to Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2022. This is me, Rashmi Furtado, and we are moving into the second wild card of the 19th cluster, which is the cluster from Bihar. So I have all of the finalists here with me who have moved into this second wild card, which means 18 winners have been identified already and they move into their respective zonals. We have 24 clusters in all, every cluster having 2 wild cards and 1 cluster final. So today let me introduce to you the finalists here who have joined us for the second wild card. All right, first finalist for the day is Deepak from Chanakya National Law University. All right, that's Deepak for you. Up next is Ginny from CIM Patna, Dhritraj from IIM Bodh Gaya, Asif from CIM Patna, Yash from IIIT Bhagalpur, and completing our lineup would have been Aditi from BIT Mesra, but because of unfortunate and unforeseen circumstances, she couldn't join us here today. But we have 5 contestants with us, so we will move on with the wild card with the 5 of them. Rules of the game, ladies and gentlemen, 10 questions in all single attempt per question only, all the questions on the buzzer. +1 if they get it right, -1 if they get it wrong. Top 3 scorers from among the 5 of them will qualify into the cluster final. It's all about qualifying, that is their goal and not necessarily about winning the wild card. The fair play protocols of course are right there on your screen and we take them extremely seriously when it comes to Tata Crucible. The contestants have been briefed about it already. Moving on, audience, the buzzer indicator light will not be appearing for you during the wild card, but I'm here to let you know who has pressed the buzzer. Time for us to move into the wild card, ladies and gentlemen, and identify the top 3 scorers who will move on into the cluster final. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start the wild card. The first question of this wild card, here we go. What is marketing that uses leaders or popular icons of a market to promote your brand known as? Your options: key person marketing or influencer marketing. Dhritraj going on the buzzer, go ahead.
Influencer marketing.
+1 to you, absolutely right. Influencer marketing, giving Dhritraj the first +1 of this wild card. Moving on to question number 2. Who among these endorses Digit Insurance, which is a general insurance startup in India? Your options: Virat, Asif, go ahead. He's on the buzzer.
Virat Kohli.
+1 on that. He's absolutely right. Virat Kohli, the answer I was looking for. Getting a +1 is Asif. Moving on to question number 3. Where is the headquarters of Puma, the company that manufactures athletic and casual footwear, apparel and accessories, located? Headquarters, I said. Alright, I'll help you out. France or Germany? Dhritraj, go ahead.
Germany.
+1 to you, absolutely right. Germany, the answer I was looking for. Moving on to question number 4. What is the full form of PVR in PVR Cinemas, which is a movie theatre chain headquartered in Gurgaon? Oh, no one going on this one. 5 seconds of time is up, ladies and gentlemen. The answer I was looking for is Priya Village Roadshow. Priya Village Roadshow would have given one of them a +1. Moving on to question number 5. Which firm signed a master franchise agreement with quick service restaurant Subway in November 2021 to expand Subway's business in India, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh? Your options: Westlife Development or Everstone Group. Yash, go ahead on the buzzer.
Everstone.
+1 on that. +1 on that. Yash getting a +1 on that question. Everstone Group is absolutely right. Moving on to question number 6. Which is the first woman-led unicorn in India? Your options? Oh, no options. Dhritraj, go ahead.
Nika.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. Nika giving him a +1. Dhritraj is doing very well there. He's already on 3 points. Very good place to be in a wild card. Let's move on to question number 7. Cryptocurrency is based on which of the following? Machine learning. Oh, Asif, go ahead.
The blockchain.
Getting a +1 on that is Asif. Absolutely right. Blockchain, the answer I was looking for. Getting a +1. Absolutely right. Getting a +1 on that is Asif. Blockchain technology is what I was looking for. Moving on to question number 8. Which of these is not a car model of Kia India Private Limited? Your options: Kia Symphony or Kia Sonet. Deepak, go ahead.
Kia Symphony.
Getting a +1. He's absolutely right. Kia Symphony, the answer I was looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, I've completed 8 questions. Let me tell you where our contestants stand before we move forward. As of now, Deepak and Yash are both on +1 each. They need to score a little more, take more chances. But leading this wildcard as of now is Dhritaraj with 3 points, and close behind him is Asif with 2 points. Well, 2 more questions remaining. The penultimate question of this wildcard. The penultimate question of this wildcard. Here we go. Who is India's Minister of State in the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology? Your options: Kapil Patil. Oh, Asif, go ahead.
Kapil Patil.
Taking a negative on that is Asif. He did not wait for me to give the options. I had started giving the options. Kapil Patil is the wrong answer. The right answer, ladies and gentlemen, is Rajiv Chandrasekhar. Rajiv Chandrasekhar would have given him a +1. The last question of this wildcard, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Who is the executive chairman of Wipro? Oh, Deepak, go ahead.
Ajim Premji.
Oh, taking a negative on that is Deepak. The answer I was looking for is Rishad Premji. Rishad Premji would have given him a +1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've completed all the 10 questions of this wildcard. Let me tell you where our contestants stand. Dhritaraj from IIM Bodh Gaya with 3 points has not only won this wildcard, he is also qualified into the cluster final with a huge lead. Congratulations to you, Dhritaraj. Joining him are Asif from Chandragupta Institute of Management and Yash from IIIT Bhagalpur, both of them with 1 point each. Congratulations to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move any further, as always, I have an audience question just for you. Your question: Douyin is an app that's popularly known across the world as what? Douyin, spelled as D-O-U-Y-I-N, is an app that's popularly known across the world as what? Go ahead and key in your answers in the chat box, ladies and gentlemen. If you're quick and correct, you stand a chance to win exciting prizes. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We've completed both the wild cards, but the cluster final is coming up, and believe me, you will definitely enjoy it. Please join us in the cluster final. You take care.
You gotta move it to the max. You gotta move it in the show. You gotta move it, move it, move it to the max.
The new Nexon EV Max moves you to the max.
Friends, put your hands together to welcome on stage Quizmaster Big Brain.
A big welcome to all of you here today from me, Big Brain. You're watching Tata Crucible, the campus quiz for 2022. As we've gone around the length and breadth of this nation, we are at cluster number 19 to pick yet another champion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, from here, the one champion among the six will move on to the nation's top 24. And that is going to be a big moment, whoever is going to move through. For now, you know the way the game is played. You've been watching this for many weeks now. 75 the value, 5 seconds the time, and one strike only on the buzzer, whoever's first. They all know the fair play protocols well enough. So time for us to get started. Grit, guts and glory. That's really what we're looking at. But before we get to all of that, let me introduce our 6 finalists to you from this wonderful cluster. Qualifying as our first contestant here today, representing CNLU, the Law University from Patna, Priyansh. Welcome to you. Neighbouring Priyansh as our second contender, also from the same university, is Sarthak. Welcome on board. And a huge lineup. CNLU have, of course, been doing very well in this quiz in the Bihar region. So 3 qualifiers from that university does not surprise me. The third among them, Gautam. Welcome to you. And to challenge them this year, we've got representing IIM from Bodh Gaya, Dhriti Raj. Welcome on board. Neighbouring Dhriti Raj from CIM Patna with us here today is Asif. Welcome, Asif. And completing our lineup from Triple IT at Bhagalpur is Yash. Welcome to the final. Those are our finalists here today as we are going to pick action on the first frontier of our game. It's time for you to find your grit. Here it is. If you're ready, ladies and gentlemen, with the first frontier, first question here today on finding their grit on their screen, here it is. It's a very famous game, an online word game that was developed by Josh. Dhriti Raj has gone for it. Yes, Dhriti Raj. Your mic is off.
Wordle.
Wordle will give him the first 75 from IIM Bodh Gaya. He's off to a quick start. As we go to the next one, hands on the buzzer, question appearing on your screen now. Which company creates these easy charge outlets from the world of Tatas? Electric vehicle revolution in India. Dhriti Raj again on the buzzer. Which company?
Tata Power.
Clever. Clever answer. He'll get a 75. It's not Tata Motors, but Tata Power. The electric vehicles are from Tata Motors. Of course, they've created something sublime to lead India's journey into the electronic vehicle world with Nexon. Such a beautiful vehicle, and I would strongly urge all of you youngsters to at least test drive it, even if you are a few months away when you join the corporate world to buy your first car. Nonetheless, Dhriti Raj off to a quick start like a Nexon. The acceleration is good there. Here's the next one on your screens now. It's a travel platform which says Agla Station Mars. Which travel portal or platform advertises itself like this? No one's on the buzzer. 5 seconds running away very quickly. The answer I was looking for is Ixigo or IXIGO. And moving on to the next one. Let's see who's going to hit the buzzer on that. On your screens now. This is Pink Frog. It's an educational brand. What did they achieve in January 2022? They did something massive on the internet. No one's on the buzzer again. Everyone's playing safe in this quiz. And the answer that I was looking for is they became the first ever entity targeting children to have a 10 billion viewership on YouTube. That is massive. Well, we're not small either at Tata Crucible. We've had 7 million viewers of Tata Crucible on the internet, and that is huge compared to the pre-pandemic era when digital hadn't taken off the way it has. On to the next one. Dhritiraj on 150. The others will have to start buzzing. Here's the next one on screen now. In the field of decision making, probability theory is very, very important. In particular, this man's work plays an important role in statistics and therefore certain methods. Dhritiraj is again on the buzzer. Yeah, Dhritiraj?
Bayes.
Is absolutely correct. Bayes is absolutely right. The Bayesian methods are so important in statistics. Dhritiraj getting another 75 as we go to the next one, the final one. After that, I'll tell you who's binging. And on screen, here's your next one. This is one of the largest manufacturers of what in the world? From Taiwan, Dhritiraj.
Semiconductors.
Oh boy, if he's going to play like this, he's really going to leave everybody behind. From IIM Bodh Gaya, he's on fire. How much has he reached? We'll tell you on the other side of this very quick break. Back in just a moment. Stay with us.
एक सजेशन दू जी.
क्या जी?
अपने टाटा प्ले के साथ बिंज ऐप ले लो जी.
क्यों जी?
आपके फेवरेट ओटीटी एप्स एक ऐप पे जी. मतलब नो अलग अलग पेमेंट, सिर्फ वन सब्सक्रिप्शन जी. और 12 एप्स के सारे कंटेंट इजी सर्च पे. मतलब नो ढूंढना, ओनली देखना जी.
मतलब टाइम ही टाइम जी.
थोड़ा हमारे लिए भी निकाल लेना जी.
अब टाटा प्ले के साथ लीजिए बिंज ऐप.
So, ladies and gentlemen, early days in our battle here, but let me ask you an audience question before we move forward. All you got to do is key into those chat boxes. If you're quick, fast, and correct, you stand to win a prize from the Tatas. The Miracle Garden has more than 50 million flowers, and it's a huge tourist attraction. In which location of the world? You can give me a city name as an answer. Key in the answers there as we get back to our final. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're with me, Pig Brain, here today watching a fantastic Bihar final unfold with one youngster, well, binging on our board, like as if Chris Gale has re-entered Tata Crucible. We'll take a look at that scorecard. Look at that there. Dhritiraj on 300. He's really leaving nothing to chance to the others. So he's zoomed away to a huge lead. The others will have to play out of their skin to catch up with him. That's a very big score to get in the first round. Time for you, literally, especially for the others, to rely on your guts. Here it is. I've got 12 questions for you in this segment, but the key is to hit the buzzer and get through. And that can really help you move forward as we start with the first one on your screens now. He was into the milk chocolate bar business. And he is essentially the equivalent of, let's say, Asif has gone for it. Yes.
Cadbury.
Oh, he went for Cadbury, takes a negative on that one. Should have waited a little longer. I had more to say. The answer is Hershey's. Hershey there, Milton Hershey actually on your screen. He'll take a negative, but I'm sure Asif will negate that quickly. As we go to the next one on your screens now. Health and hygiene have become a very important part of this brand, helping children receive nutritious meals that they need, supported by a whole host of players. Help us tackle hunger, says this huge global giant. Some call them fast food. They believe they are into health and wellness. Massive outlets across India too. Someone's gone for it. Priyansh is giving it a shot. Yeah, Priyansh.
Is it Subway?
Clever. The green and the yellow should have led you to Subway very quickly. Colors can sometimes be good clues. He's got a 75. Subway it is. And of course, speak of health, hygiene and wellness. We've got Tata 1mg with us, which is a very vocal advocate of wellness and good health of people, especially in a post-pandemic era. As we go to the next one on your screens, now, which company, big in the region that you come from, will create Ashianas, which essentially is your dream homes under one roof? Priyansh.
Is it Tata Homes?
Oh, minus 75 to you. He went on the home logic. The logic is actually steel. Dream, click and build. One steel roof is enough for your house. Well, he took a negative on that one. He's playing well. He needs to continue doing that. Otherwise, to catch up with Rithi Raj would be tough. As we go to the next one on your screens now. This is a huge fintech unicorn. Asif's gone for it. Yes, Asif.
It's the Razorpay.
Well played. Well played on Razorpay. He's got a 75. So that negates the 75 he's lost. Everyone's back to square one. And Dhruti Raj, the one that is ahead. As we go to almost halfway of this quiz to the next question on your screen, here it is. How to Become the World's Richest Man is a fantastic book. It speaks of the journey of a furniture giant. Someone's gone for it, Dhruti Raj it is. He pressed that buzzer quickly, visible. 75. 75 to him. He's really playing the game well as he gets another 75 and gets further forward from the others. As we go to the next one on screen now. The Fatal Risk, the cautionary tales of corporate suicide, is about which Dhruti Raj?
Franklin Templeton.
Oh, he took a chance and a chance, one too many in this one. Just went for it with probably a half thought. The failure of AIG is what we were talking of, or the turbulence at AIG. And that'll dent 75 in his kitty. It won't matter much to him, but we're halfway through in this quiz and he's looking good. Let's see what happens in the second half. On your screen, the next question coming up now. This is an important spice native to India. The pods are used without or with their husks. They have a slightly pungent and aromatic taste. Priyansh has gone for it.
Black pepper, I guess.
Minus 75 to you on black pepper. He gets a minus on that. The answer that I was looking for is cardamom. And Priyansh is taking quick chances but not paying off for him. As we move to the next one on your screens, coming up here is a long question from me, but let's see what you do on screen. Here it is. The Library of Congress, contains more than 200 volumes devoted to one company. Add in newspapers, magazine articles, etc. and so on. And it is safe to conclude that much more has been written about this one company in the world than any other. Quietly headquartered in the Clewit Towers is this phenomenal company known for its amazing investments. Led by a great thinker, Gautam's giving it a shot. Yes, Gautam?
Berkshire Hathaway?
Is correct. He'll get a 75 on Berkshire Hathaway. Every 75 will start mattering now because these are going to be people who are going to set scores for the second place. Unless, of course, someone's going to chase Dhruti Raj. He's on 300 and he's looking solid. On to the next one on your screens. Here it is. These are harmonicas, as people called it, became very popular during World War I. And it's produced by a famous company, better known in the automobile space as well. Who is this company who's also in the music instrument business as much as Priyansh has gone for it?
Is it Yamaha?
Is correct. Every time he scores, he gains and loses, so Priyansh gets a 75 there. 3 questions to go, and I'll tell you what, the scorecard's going to become very, very important. Priyansh is only being able to negate what negative he takes. So he's not able to move forward, though he's giving good answers. Here's the next one on your screen. Let's see who does what. Here it comes. RUR, Rossum's Universal Dash. Triti Raj again. Carol Capek.
Robots.
Is perfectly correct as he gets that right. Czech writer Karel Capek's play gave the world what is becoming the future, at least in many businesses, including healthcare, where robos are playing a very important role. Triti Raj moving from strength to strength. 2 more remaining in this round. Let's see what he does. Here's the next one coming up now. Colonel Skinner. Well, the Hot Bengal Club would serve these to people. They had their own versions in the 18th century. What are we talking about? Which is one of India's most famous luxury export item, as people thought. Gautam's gone for it. Yes, Gautam.
Is it rum?
Well, not rum. I was tempted to say something. No, not Old Monk either. Well, tough one in that sense because it looks like a packaging of that, but the answer is mango pickles and chutney. Well, mango pickles and chutney became very famous. Colonel James Skinner is supposed to have invented his own version of it using mango, ginger, garlic and red chilies, if I'm not wrong. But the answer, of course, that I was looking for is mango pickles and mango chutney. Everyone really playing the game with ups and downs except Triti Raj. As we go to the final one in this round on your screens now. She is one of the leading venture capitalist names in our country. Her name is Vani Kola. Which famous venture capital does she lead in our country? 5 seconds running away. Nobody on the buzzer on that one. Turns out to be a tough one. The answer that I was looking for is Kalari Capital or Kalari Capital. We'll take a look at where these contestants are. I just get a feeling it's going to be a battle for the second place. But all that on the other side of this break. Stay with us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this game seems to be going in one direction. Triti Raj towering with his performance. But I just get a feeling on the final frontier, the game's going to open up for the second place. But before we get there, let me ask you a couple of audience questions. Here's one. It's a famous automobile brand that's named after a 17th century French explorer. I'll repeat that. French explorer who was also the founder of Detroit, city in Michigan. Which automobile brand are we talking about? Key in your answers into that chat box, and here's your next question. I've got one more for you. Founded way back in 1919 by Isaac Carasso. This was in Barcelona in Spain. And it was a small factory which was actually producing yogurt. And today they own some big brands in the world like Walwick, Evian Water, etc. All you got to tell me is which company am I describing? Well, let's get back. You're watching Tata Crucible Campus Edition 2022. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're with me, Pig Brain, watching Tata Crucible's Campus Edition 2022. A big final unfolding here in a very different way than it normally does in the terrains of Bihar as we take a look at the binge board. Just one youngster binging from IIM Bodh Gaya. Dhriti Raj is on 375. It's not that the others have not scored. They've gained, they've lost, they've gained, they've lost. And in the process, they've not moved forward. So it's a very interesting scorecard in that sense. And the final frontier will perhaps determine who's going to finish second in this game. Dhriti Raj will watch for the first couple of questions and then he'll probably know I am safe. Because someone has to really play out of their skin if they have to try and chase him to win this quiz. It's possible theoretically, but let's see what happens. As we move to the final frontier, time for our contestants to go for glory. $75 the value, but before we go into this game, it's time for us to remind ourselves that this nation proudly celebrates 75 years of independence. And here at Tata Crucible, we celebrate 75 years of Indian independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav as we call it, by paying a tribute to great pioneers, brands, companies, business leaders, advertising campaigns, all of it that has shaped 75 years of independent India and more. For the moment, the final frontier. 75, the value, 5 seconds, the time. Starting with the first one on your screens, now. Kundan Lal prescribed 6 P's for success. And he created a restaurant chain which basically means Palace of Pearls. Which famous entity? Dhriti Raj.
Moti Mahal.
Oh, brilliant quizzing. Dhriti Raj from IIM Bodh Gaya is really not stopping. That's one way of playing the game. I said if people catch up, he says, if I keep going, where will they catch up? He's on 450. Superb quizzing by him. 5 questions remain in this quiz. He looks unassailable. On to the next one on your screens now. It's a famous bank. Asif's gone for it. Every 75 is going to matter. Yes, Asif?
Bandhan Bank.
Very well played. He gets a 75 on Bandhan Bank. He was quick on the buzzer. He's got that right, and that's a crucial 75. He's got to play it carefully and now not lose out on those scores. As we go to the next one on your screens now. All of these are from which company or group? Gautam's gone for it. Mike Gautam.
What?
Go ahead again.
Is it Dabur?
Is correct. He gets to a 75 as well. So you know what? From here, I think with 3 questions to go, Dhriti Raj is surely going to go into the nation's top 24. From IIM Bodh Gaya, he's kept the IIM juggernaut alive. IIMs have been doing very well in this year's Tata Crucible. And if I'm not wrong, he would be the first from Bodh Gaya to probably crack a Tata Crucible. So that's a unique position for him. Crucible's been around for a long time, but IIM Bodh Gaya is very new. So it's a huge feather on his cap and his institute. As we go to the next one on your screens now. Which group in the media world would you connect to all these brands? It's one network that they are part of. Is someone going for it? No one's on the buzzer. Everyone's played safe. The answer is Network 18. Oh, I think that was a simple question. People missing out on that. Gautam feels he should have got it. 2 questions to go. I think it's Gautam versus Asif. But if someone else gets 75, it's still a battle. So let's see what happens. Here's the next one, penultimate one on your screens now. She is Alka Mittal. She is in the news for becoming the first woman to head an oil giant. Gautam. Or, sorry?
ONGC.
Superb. He's got that absolutely right. If he doesn't get the last question wrong, he will finish runner-up here today. He deserves to because he gained quite a bit and lost quite a bit. But he needs to play carefully on the last one. Asif's the one who can threaten him. Unless, of course, Dhriti Raj hits the buzzer and the others get the buzzer too. Well, Gautam's going to watch it carefully. The final question here today in this cluster 19. Prithviraj for sure through. Who's going to come second? On your screen, the final question. Here it is. The Creation of Wealth is an amazing book written by a great writer who's written a lot about the world of Tatas. Which great writer would you associate to The Creation of Wealth? Harish Bhatt or R.M. Lala? Sarthak has gone for it. Yes, Sarthak.
Harish Bhatt.
Well, that'll give you a minus 75. But Gautam will be happy as long as Sarthak takes a negative, because as long as it was not Asif, it wasn't going to threaten him at all. We're going to take a look at the binge board to look at how this quiz has gone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on your screens, here it is. With 450, Prithviraj has been absolutely sublime. From I Am Bodh Gaya, he's in the nation's top 24 as our next contender. Gautam finishes runner-up with a very credible 150. His score could have easily been 300 or more. Asif too fought well, but the negatives really cost Priyansh, Asif and Gautam a fair bit. But ladies and gentlemen, that's how it goes in a format like this. While we appreciate the consistency of Prithviraj, it's amazing that all of you reached this far in the online battles where so many literally lakhs take part. But for the moment, ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed my pleasure and privilege to bring in a very senior member from the Tata fraternity, someone who's been part of these journeys for many years now. He's currently the executive in charge of the tubes division at Tata Steel. It's my pleasure and privilege to request our guest of honor, Mr. Sanjay Sani, to please join us online. Thank you so much, sir, for your time, and welcome back to Tata Crucible. Truly delighted to have you as our guest. Let me actually start with a question to get your view, because we've got youngsters here. The tough part of the unexpected pandemic is over. Leaders like you have shown what was required during that period. But what's your message to youngsters like this who are on the verge of starting their career? What's your advice to them, sir?
Yeah, good evening to you and good evening to all connected, and very happy to be part of this Bihar finals. And I think a very good and relevant question in today's times. 4 or 5 points I would like to just highlight to the team members who are there. Of course, quizzing, very important, because with it brings knowledge, which is very important in today's world. Second, quizzing also allows you to be very quite agile in your thinking, and it allows you to be very situationally aware. In today's changing times, one has to be very alert and situationally aware to take important decisions. I think for youngsters, very important message is that one has to be resilient. We have seen that in the last 2 years, the 3 waves, how it hit the common man, it hit business and people and yet companies, like Tata's and Tata Steel, we rose in these times to deliver high value for our customers and for all our stakeholders. So I think these are some of the important learnings which we also learn, and important for all the youngsters who are connected across.
So beautifully put, sir. Really, really extremely well put. Thank you so much for that. Let me quickly bring in our 2 champions who received prizes. All of them, of course, have done well to reach this far. So, ladies and gentlemen, finishing runner-up here today from CNLU Patna with all resilience towards the end is Gautam. 18,000 to him here today. And he could have definitely, he'll tell himself, well, he could have probably put a lot more pressure if he hadn't got the negatives in between. Congratulations to you, Gautam, as we go to really the champion of today. Nothing going wrong, playing the game absolutely perfectly. He started out like Chris Gayle, but then he played consistently like a Rahul Dravid would do. Brilliantly played from I Am Bodh Gaya, the first title for them, 35,000 to young Prithviraj, as he goes into the nation's top 24. Congratulations to you. Can I request Sanjay Saab to give a word of advice to our winners or anything that he has to say? Sir.
Thank you once again. My compliments and congratulations to all 6 of you. It's a journey. So you've learned, you know more people now, and in fact, you've picked up more knowledge during this process. It's important to continue quizzing. As part of this, I remember my school days way back of 80s when we had to read Britannica Encyclopedia to have knowledge. Today, technology provides you that knowledge, and I think well done. And both to Gautam and especially to Dhritaraj, I think excellent performance today as I was watching. And in fact, wish you all the best, Dhritaraj, for the finals, and I hope you do well there also. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much there to Mr. Sani for joining us. And what a final we've had. Gautam, not able to get too close. The negatives really hurt him, but he finishes a very credible runner-up. Dhritaraj, did he not look absolutely fantastic? Nothing wrong with his approach. No step going faulty. Played it to perfection for a 450 to take him into the nation's top 24. To all of you, ladies and gentlemen, watching this, we'll be back with cluster number 20 as we inch towards finding our 24 champions. But for the moment, Dhritaraj leads the way, as my young colleague Rashmi Furtado, and from me, Pig Brain, it's a big thank you to you for tuning in. Do keep watching Tata Crucible as we come back to you with the next cluster with another set of 6 amazing contestants. Till then, thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.